So welcome, this is first episode of what we want to do like on a weekly base now. So it's inside Powerslide, two heads, one opinion, or Batman and Robin, or Batman and Catwoman. So whatever you want to name it, it's just about, some information, some internal information we want to share with you. So Scott, what about Vegas last week?
Was there even a race in Vegas? I was too busy at gambling or at the strippers. I mean, getting back serious, the race in Vegas the other week was really our first chance to race in all conditions because it was indoor, road and marathon. So it was basically a good week to get some really good data and feedback from the guys and girls on the 125 because it was all conditions, all distances, all track surfaces and everything like that. It really positive feedback. I mean, Bart tells me it's like having another gear. He just has a whole new speed. So, and the same for all of the European guys and girls. It's the middle of winter, so they basically just jumped straight on the inlines and went, and the results speak for themselves really.
So how was it compared, sprinting to long distance compared to indoor a little bit and racing too?
Well, like on indoor we were really successful in the sprints, but that's arguably down to the skater too. I mean, we have Donovan Sellers racing for us in the US. Maybe the fastest guy in indoor at the moment, and he basically transitioned that straight from 110s to 125s to win the short distance races on indoor. It was really impressive to see. He was racing Jarrett Paul, so another really good indoor skater, and those two guys went at it, and Donovan came out on top in the short distance. The Europeans on indoor, I mean, for them it was a little bit of fun and a little bit of learning. They were still serious to win. I mean, Erica Zanetti picked up a few podiums. Where they really came strong was the long distance on the road. I mean, those performances from Bart, it was against some of the best South American skaters there is. The other guys had huge teams versus our 3 or 4 guys. And it was just the fact that they just simply couldn't follow at the end of the day. Same with Kathy and the girls.
So also what I see the good thing is, there's more and more brands really supporting the 125 millimeter movement for wheels, and we started back like almost 2 years where we officially made, there will be 125, and already Berlin, not last year but the year before, so 2013, you wanted to skate but you were not allowed to skate on the wheels by this time, so everybody since a long time knowing there's coming. So which brands are now supporting the whole Endeavor 125?
I mean, sure, there's rumours that such and such a brand is coming with this, but we know, for example, Cutter Motors out of Holland, they have quite a nice frame that is that fits 125s, so it's they're on board. And also too, Flyke out of Colombia again got a nice frame that's fits 125. So it's really just now it's a case of who's not doing it as opposed to who's doing it, because more and more brands are going to start doing it over time.
So now I see also more kids getting onto it, even some juniors and whatever, elementary boys in the US, winning indoor on 3x125. What are the lengths and frame options that are available right now on the market?
Well, basically you said about kids and things on indoor in the US. I mean, the indoor was always, I guess, the pioneer. The indoor skaters in the US with the 3-wheel setups on indoor for young kids. First it was 3x100, then 3x110, and now it just seems to be that progression. I mean, we're not seeing a tiny tot skater on 3x125 obviously, but we're seeing like as you said, down into elementary winning in Roanoke on 125. So it's really going down into the grades. I mean, I don't think 125 should be worn by super small kids. I mean, there's no way we're pushing that, but it's just showing that it's not impossible at the same time. Frame options. Right now on the market we have our VI aluminium frame, which is kind of a medium range frame. It's a little more comfortable, a little more forgiving, makes it easier to control. Guys like Bart Swings and Felix, they're on this guy just because it's super stiff. I mean, you can basically break a window with this frame. So that's basically our 2 frame options in terms of design, and then inside that, right now, currently in our warehouse, we have 2 sizes available. In this one we have a 12.2 and a 12.6, and in this frame we have a 12.6. The major reason we did it is because from this point here to this point here, is the same as 4 110s. So that was actually the first frame we created. Not to change any lengths or go really far with the spacing between the wheels or super close and anything like that. And now as we get further and further into the development, basically we've gone even shorter again with an 11.8. This is actually again aimed at the smaller skaters, because you can even use a 165 mounting on it. So it's 165, 195 dual mounting, 11.8, and fits 3 times 125. So probably a pretty good frame for like a junior indoor skater in the US. Also at the higher end, we're testing a 13.0 in the. Don't be a dick about it. We're testing a 13.0 on this one because some of the feedback we got from the guys is they wanted something a little bit longer.
What would you say are the main advantages of really the 3-wheel setup and the bigger wheels?
When we first discussed the project, I was against 3 wheels because I thought you always needed 4 wheels on the ground and all of that stuff. I mean, I was against it, but Matthias, being the boss, kind of forced it upon me. And I'm happy to admit that I'm wrong. And now it's on camera so the whole world can see it. I really believe in the 3-wheel setup. I mean, it makes skating easier. It's the number one thing, and the reason why I think is because you have this 1 center wheel under the middle of the foot. So it makes things like the double push easier because you have that pivot under there. The other reason why it's a huge advantage, what a lot of people don't really understand yet, is because it's lighter. It means you can maintain your good technique for longer. So therefore you can go longer in a race or in a training session with good technique. And that's really a key advantage, especially what we're seeing in girls, because they don't have maybe the same strength as men. So therefore they're able to just keep their technique better for longer.
Final advice, what you would say to people, there's a lot of, hate and, pushing 125 versus, not negative about 125. What would be your suggestion to people,
I mean, it's like everything. The first time you do something, there's going to be some criticism and hate. And I mean, it's almost a case of people are scared of what they don't know. And the number one thing of advice I would give people is just to test it and try it. If someone in your club's got a set, just test them. I mean, test them for an hour, not even that, 30 minutes. And you'll really see the advantages, and there is no disadvantages of it.
Thanks.
Done.
It was a little bit longer than expected.